Hi everybody, my name is Tori Earl and I am an Extension Specialist for 4-H Youth Development with the University of Kentucky's College of Agriculture, Food and Environment Cooperative Extension Service. The following segment is designed to give you a visual instruction on one of this year's segments of the 4-H National STEM Challenge Galactic Quest. The second activity in Galactic Quest, the 4-H STEM Challenge this year, is called Cipher Space. This is actually a computer science activity that does not use a computer. So you can do it anywhere you would like to, and it's in my opinion, one of the funnest ones to do in this year's challenge. Cipher Space is a cybersecurity activity. It talks about encryption of words, it talks about decryption of words, and it allows the participants to create their own encoded messages and decipher other encoded messages. Participants can encode and decode their own messages and other messages by using a Caesar cipher wheel. Now this was developed by Julius Caesar many years ago as an encryption message or an encryption code for him to be able to send encoded messages to his troops and to his leaders. The Caesar cipher wheel utilizes 3 different types of letters and numbers. It utilizes lowercase letters, it utilizes uppercase letters, and it utilizes a number system for each one of those. Now the Caesar cipher wheel is relatively easy to use, but you have to know 2 of 3 things in order to use it. You have to know the encrypted word, which is represented by the uppercase letters, and you would have to know what cipher key they're using, which is represented by the numbers, to get an unencrypted word, which would be the lowercase letters. Now, for example, if I was to encrypt a word utilizing the Caesar cipher wheel, and this is in the youth guide and the facilitator guide as well, and I'm also going to give you a couple of mistakes that I found in the facilitator guide as we do this. The Caesar cipher wheel, if you were to create a cipher key of 4, which you would go to the number 4, and you would line it up with the lowercase a, which actually has a hash mark above it. So that is going to encrypt everything with a cipher key of 4. The encryption within the facilitator guide gives the encrypted word as capital L, capital I, capital E, capital Z. So let's look at that. If we go to capital L, which is right here, that's the encrypted letter. The decrypted letter would be H. Go to the letter I in the encrypted letter, you get the letter E. You go to the E in the encrypted letter or encrypted word, it gives you the letter A. So now we have H, E, A, and I bet you can probably figure out what the 4th letter is supposed to be. We're dealing with 4-H, so it should be D to spell out head. But according to the facilitator guide, we go to Z, which is the letter V. So in looking at that, you will need to make a correction in your facilitator guide to change L-E-I-Z on page 20 to L-E-I-H, which is the encrypted letter for the letter D. Now, there's some activities to do with this one where you learn or where you actually decrypt things, and the big activity with it is a relay race. The relay race answer sheet is right here. There are 4 different races. 1, 2 is on the back side, then you flip back over to 3, and race 4. These sheets are laminated, so you can use dry erase markers with them, or you can have the youth get a piece of notebook paper, and for each race they just find the encrypted phrase, and then they use the cipher key to get the deciphered phrase. The suggested way of doing this is to have the relay race answer sheet at where they start, at one end of the room. They run down, they decrypt the letter, they put it in the deciphered phrase, and they bring the relay race sheet answer. Actually, they don't bring it back, they leave it at the other end of the room. So if they see something that looks kind of funny, they can utilize they can share with their teammates and utilize with their turn to try to see what a correction that needs to be made in it, or they can skip a letter if they're having some trouble. My suggestion for you is to go through race 1, learn how to use the cipher key with it, and then use your youth guide for that, and then check in the facilitator guide to see if you're correct. The second mistake I found in the facilitator guide, there are some practice codes within some practice ciphers within the youth guide. The solutions are in the facilitator guide, but you also, the first two, the decipher the code and encrypt the code, are reversed from what they are in the youth guide. So just make sure that you flip those two around when you're going through them with the youth. Now, take a few minutes. Try to decipher these. Use your youth guide before you look for the answers in the facilitator guide. Have fun with it, and then try to create some codes of your own. It's really fun.